Hey everybody, it's Teresa. Welcome to my channel. I'm going to make some earrings today, and I'm going to use some of the beads and findings that came in the most recent GGC's treasure bag. It's called Sparkling Romance. I'll put a link in the corner of this video and in the description box below to the video I did where I opened this bag and went over everything that was in it. This is not a subscription that you can sign up for. She just puts one of these out about every other month or so, and there's only a limited number of them. And because they're so beautiful and such a great value and so popular, they sell out really, really quickly. You can go to her website and get on her email notification list, and when she's about to release a bag, she'll send you an email letting you know that she's about to release it, and that way you can be ready and hopefully get yourself one if you want one. I'll put a link to her website in the description box below too. She also puts out a bunch of videos after she releases a bag showing you different ways that you can use the beads that are in the bag, different projects that you can use, and just some inspiration if you need some inspiration about how to use the beads. I'll put a link to her YouTube channel in the description box below too. So I've got 5 pairs of earrings here. I've made one of each pair, and I'm going to make the other one with you all, and I'll go over everything I'm using as I make each earring, and I'll try to put links to everything I can find links for in the description box below that didn't come in the bag. So hold on, and I'll get some of this out of the way, and I'll be back. Okay, this is the first pair I'm going to make. I've already made this one. And let's see, let me zoom in a little bit here. I'm using, per earring, I'm using 2 of the 4mm round pink rose crystal beads and 1 of the 6mm ruby crystal beads and 1 of the little heart charms that came in the bag. And I've got a couple of bead caps from my stash that I'm using. And I've got a piece of 22 gauge German style wire. This is about a 3-inch piece of wire, I think. And I'm going to use my tweezer pliers, and I'm going to go down not hardly 1.5 inches, and I'm going to bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take the short piece of wire under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. And that usually stands my little piece of wire almost straight up there. I'm going to take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Oh, I forgot to mention I have a 4mm jump ring in there too. I don't think I said that. Bring this wire down a little bit, and I'm going to wrap the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. And I'm going to take my cutters. These are the cutters that I use for craft wire and head pins and eye pins. I use a different pair of cutters for bead stringing wire. I'm going to cut off my extra wire and put it in my little New Orleans shot glass. He'll get mad if I don't show him, if I don't introduce him. He's getting full. I'm going to have to empty him. Now I'm going to put on one of these little 4mm beads. And a bead cap, and this 6mm ruby bead, and another bead cap, and another 4mm bead. Then I'm going to take my pliers, and I'm going to go to the very tip of the pliers because I want to get the same amount of wraps at the top that I have at the bottom, and I've discovered that with this 22 gauge wire, if I go to the very tip of the pliers, I can get about 3 wraps at the top just like I did at the bottom. So I'm going to bend over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this piece of wire until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down a little bit. Take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. I'm going to make sure to get that first wrap in under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. I'm going to wrap till there's no more room to wrap. Now I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. And I'm going to take these crimping pliers, and I use the part at the end there with the half circle on each side to tuck in the burrs when I cut off wire. And I always wait until I get the whole link made before I do this part. I know that a lot of people go ahead and tuck their burr, the first burr in when they make the first loop, but it helps me if I have the bead to brace against. That way I don't end up mangling the wire and the loops and everything. So now I'm going to take my pliers. I have a little 4mm jump ring here, and I've discovered that I can handle them better if I use my tweezer pliers and my smaller pair of bent chain nose pliers. I'm going to see if I can find the slit in it. There it is, I think. Open it up. I'm going to put my little heart charm on here. And then I'm going to thread on this little link that I just made. I'm going to close my jump ring back. Make sure it gets closed back really well. And now I'm going to take my heavier pliers because this ear wire is thicker, so the heavier wires make it easier to open it. I'm going to open my ear wire, thread my little earring on, close my ear wire back. So now I have another little earring. To match this little earring that I've already got made here. So hold on, I'll get the next pair. These are all just really, really easy, simple, quick earrings that are not at all hard to make. So hold on, I'll get the next ones and I'll be back. Okay, this is the next earring I'm going to make here. Another really quick and easy earring. I'm going to use one of these per earring. I'll be using one of these links with the 3 hearts on it. One of these larger hearts that came in the heart charm set. Another one of these 6mm ruby colored beads, and I've got a 20 gauge eye pin here, and I've got a 4mm jump ring and an ear wire, of course. I think these jump rings are 20 gauge, and I know this head pin or eye pin is 20 gauge. So I'm going to put my bead on here. I'm going to take my pliers. I'm going to do a simple loop here, so I'm going to go a little bit above the bead because I don't want to crack my bead. I'm going to bend over at a 90-degree angle. I'm going to cut off and leave probably almost a ½ inch of the pin. I've discovered I'm not good at simple loops, but I've discovered if I make a bigger loop, I can make it better than if I try to make a small one. So I'm going to cut that off. Take my round nose pliers, go to the very end here, make sure there's nothing sticking out here. No wire sticking out on this side. And I'm going to start rolling back my loop. Make sure to get it closed up really well. And now I'm going to take my, I can't remember how I did this. I have to look. I'm going to take my pliers and I'm going to open this loop I just made. I'm going to thread on my link, close it back up. Now I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring. And I'm going to open my jump ring, put my little heart charm on here, put it on the bottom of my link with the bead on it, close my jump ring back up really well. Now I'm going to take my ear wire and open up my ear wire and thread on the little earring I've just made. Close my ear wire back. So like I said, really quick and easy pair of earrings. So now hold on, I'll get the next ones and I'll be back. Okay, this is the next earring I'm going to make. I'm using one of the brass cube pendants that came in the box that has the little crystal floating in there. I think those are so pretty. That little crystal floating in there. And then I've got per earring, and I've got two of the lavender crackle glass beads per earring. They're 6mm. I've got one of the ruby, another one of the ruby colored 6mm beads. I've got some bead caps from my stash. I'm using a piece of 20 gauge German style wire for this, and I've got a 4mm jump ring, and of course an ear wire. So I'm going to take my 20 gauge piece of jump ring, and the reason I'm using 20 gauge instead of 22 gauge is because this link is a little bit longer, and I'm afraid if I use this thinner gauge wire it might bend easy, so I want to try to keep it from bending easy, so I'm using 20 gauge for this. So I'm going to take my pliers, and this is probably about a 4-inch piece of wire, I guess, because it's thicker. I thought I needed more. I don't know. So I'm going to go down about 1.5 inches, bend over at a 90-degree angle, take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook with a bend. Round nose pliers facing me. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the wires till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Cock the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold onto my loop. Bring this wire down a little bit. I'm going to bend the shorter piece of wire around the longer piece of wire about 3 times. Now I'm going to take my cutters and cut off my extra wire. And now I'm going to take a bead cap, one of these crackle glass beads, another bead cap, a bead cap facing the other way, a ruby bead, another bead cap, bead cap facing the other way, crackle glass bead, bead cap. Now I'm going to take my pliers, and this time I'm not going to go to the very tip of the pliers. I'm going to go a little bit further because I want to have 3 wraps at the top of this like I do at the bottom of this, and because this wire is thicker, I need to go a little bit further. I need to have a little bit longer neck to wrap with. So I'm going to go a little bit farther than the tip, and I'm going to bend over at a 90-degree angle. Take my round nose pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the beads. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the beads. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this wire down a little bit. I'm going to take my other pair of bent chain nose pliers and start to wrap. Make sure to get that first wrap under the bottom of the loop and not over the top of the bottom of the loop. I've done that many times. And then just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. And now take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my little burrs. Now I'm going to take my 4mm jump ring and open it up. Put my little cube pendant on here. And put my link on. Close my jump ring back. Now I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up. Put my earring on here. Close my ear wire back. So now I have a little earring to match this little earring. Like I said, quick and easy. Now hold on, I'll get the next pair and I'll be back. Okay, this is the next earring I'm going to make. I've got one of the 6x4mm clear faceted oval glass beads. One of these silver tone alloy rhinestone and faux pearl pendants. I just think that's so pretty. I love that little rhinestone there on the side. Those little rhinestones. And then I've got a piece of 22 gauge German style wire, and I've got a 4mm jump ring, and of course an air wire. And so I'm going to take my piece of wire, go down probably not hardly an inch and a half, bend over at a 90-degree angle, take around those pliers and put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the tool. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part under here until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the wire. Take my bent chain nose pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring this part down. Wrap the short piece of wire around the long piece of wire about 3 times. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. I'll take my oval bead and put it on here. Take my pliers, go to the very tip of the pliers because this is 22 gauge wire. Bend it over, bend the wire over at a 90-degree angle. Around those pliers, put them in the crook of the bend. Bend the wire back until it hits the bead. Rotate the pliers till they're facing the table. Take this part until it hits the bottom of the tool. Kink the wire back until the loop is centered over the bead. Bent chain those pliers and hold on to my loop. Bring my wire down. Take my other pair of bent chain those pliers and start to wrap. Just wrap till there's no more room to wrap. I'm going to take my cutters, cut off my extra wire. Take my crimping pliers and tuck in my burrs. Be really careful because I don't want to crack my bead. And now I'm just going to take my pliers and my little 4mm jump ring. I can find the slit in it. I'm telling you, these little jump rings are hard to find the slit in them. I'm going to open my jump ring, thread on my pendant, and my little link I just made. Close my jump ring back really well. Now I'm going to take my ear wire and open it up. And when you thread this on, you want to make sure you thread it on the right way so that, because it's not double-sided, so you want to make sure you thread it on so that the front is facing the front there. I'm going to close my ear wire back. Now I have an earring to match this earring. So hold on, I have one more pair. So hold on, I'll be back. Okay, this is the last earring I'm going to make. And this is per earring. I've got one of the filigree heart links that came in the bag. Some pieces of the chain that came in the bag. 3 of the little heart charms that came in the bag. I've got 6 jump rings, and I've got my ear wire. I think that's everything there. So I've already got my chain cut, of course, and I'm going to take my pliers, and one of my links, one of my pieces of chain has 3 links, and one piece has 5 links, and one link has 7 links. So 3 links, 5 links, and 7 links. So I'm going to take one of my jump rings, try to find the slit in it. These are really good quality jump rings, which is good, but it makes it just really, really hard to find the link or the slit in it. I know that's got a slit in there. It is. Now I'm going to open it up. I'm going to take my little piece of chain that's got 3 links, my shortest piece, and put it on here, and put one of my heart charms on here. Probably should have put the heart charm on first. Would have been easier. Okay, let's just do that. Let's put the heart charm on first, since it wants to be uncooperative. There. Now, put my piece of chain on. And I'm going to close my jump ring back. Now I'm going to take another 4mm jump ring, open it up, put the other end of that chain on there. Now I'm going to do that same thing with these other pieces of chain. I'm not going to make y'all wait and watch me because it takes me so long to find the slit in those little jump rings. But I'm going to do the same thing with these other pieces of chain. I'm going to put my heart on the bottom and put a jump ring on the top. When I get that done, I'll be back. Okay, I've got all my little hearts here with the chains and the jump rings on them. And I want this earring to mirror this earring. Of course, you don't have to do that, but that's what I want to do. And these little links they're pretty much the same on both sides, except one side is just, I know it's hard to tell, but one side's poofed out a little bit more than the other. One side's just a little bit recessed in. So I want this side to be the front. And like I said, I want to mirror them. So over here I've got my longest piece on this side, and then my medium piece, and then my shorter piece. So on this one I'm going to take my longer piece and open up my jump ring and put it on my link. Close it back up really well. Now I'm going to take my next longest piece, open up my jump ring, thread it on the inside there, close it back up really well. Now I'm going to take my shortest piece, open up my jump ring, put it on the inside here of my link. I think I didn't open it up wide enough. Okay, now I know that'll go on there. It went on this other one. There we go. Just didn't have it opened wide enough. Now I'm going to close it back. Make sure it's closed back really well. So there's that earring. Now I'm just going to open my ear wire. Thread it on here. Make sure I thread it on the way I want it to be, so that it's mirroring the one I already have made here. There's that earring. If I can get up here where you can see it. There's that pair of earrings. So that's all. It's not going to stay up here on my hand. So that's all of them. So hold on, I'll try to get them all laid out here and I'll be back. Okay, I found this board to hang these on, so hopefully you all can see them better since I seem to be incapable of holding them steady. Like I said, these are all really quick and easy earrings to make. There's nothing hard or complicated about them. And these beads are all just so beautiful. Her bags are always just so beautiful. And like I said, I'll leave a link in the description box below to her website so you can get on her email notification list if you decide that you might want to get her next one. Because like I said, they sell out really, really quickly. I hope you all have enjoyed this video. As always, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate those of you who have subscribed to my channel and watched my videos and liked and commented on my videos. I have a website where I sell my jewelry. I also sell gift cards and some extra beads and findings that I have. It's Teresa's Handmade Jewelry, and I'll put a link to it in the description box below in case you're interested, along with a link to my Facebook, Instagram, Pinterest, and my email. If you haven't, I'd really love it if you'd subscribe and hit the notification bell so you're notified when I upload a new video. So until next time, I hope y'all have a great day. Take care.